Humans are complicated because of the mind. So stress is huge, and the primal habits keep us de-stressing, and then they increase our capability and capacity so we can handle more and be more on purpose and more on focus and more communally organized as citizens to a future rather than consumers towards our death, right? Get organized, because there's always going to be the fucking machine. There's always been a machine, right? Since agriculture anyways, and who knows before then. It looks like it's been alive and well, at least since art. We've been trying to kill each other over shit, right? So, gotta save your genetic code. Further back you go. Primal habits are easy. Microbiome diet, fasting.
Welcome to the Thrive with Kate Stillman podcast. Made for you by us.
Oh, so now we see what we know about this as a group. So we'll look for similarities and differences. We'll look, for what are the big obvious ones?
We said like foraging and gathering, so food, water.
Right, so we're foraging and we're gathering. Right, so what does food look like then? So that's important. Did anyone kind of talk about that? What were we foraging then compared to, does anyone forage at the store? So what's the difference?
Collecting.
It's
Local.
It's seasonal.
Local, seasonal. Pure.
Fresh.
Fresh. Raw. Raw has what? That's different than cooked. Two things. Enzymes, did I hear? Yeah. Nutrition, yeah. More nutrients. There's more nutrients, right? Right? More nutrients. Okay. Well, I mean, we were picking too, right? We had some fun. We had fire for a while, you guys. So we've had fire before agriculture. So it's not just that. So fire does a few things to things. Okay, what else? We got food. Anything else with food? Foraging. We're kind of close on the foraging. We're not really quite in there yet. I mean, there's like, yes, we had to eat, and then there's there's better nutrients, and then there's the what part of the plant is connected to the earth is the
Microbiome.
soil and the mycelium and the
Microbiome.
dirt. Who said dirt?
I'm into dirt.
Dirt, right?
Oh,
Dirt has
microbes.
Dirt has more microbes than everything else.
Process.
No, everything else. Like if you're like, what has the most microbes here on planet Earth? It's dirt. Yeah, it's dirt. And then if you want like really rich dirt, it's called
Soil.
Yep. And then the soil's nurtured by
Manure. Yeah.
yes, all that stuff, right? Compost manure, right? And compost and manure are full of microbes, right? All sorts of bacteria and viruses and fungi and archaea. And they're current. They're like the current update. Does anyone ever get that? Their phone slows down and then they need an update. It's a pain in the fucking ass. Anyone ever get that? Right? So the compost is the update. And it's the viruses in the compost that are like the update of the update. They change much, much faster than single-celled organisms, right? Is anyone ever kind of confused? Like, what the fuck is a virus? It's a fragment? Like, what's a fragment? Doesn't have to be a word to be a thing. Doesn't have to be a thing. How can it be just a fragment? So that's the like very, 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 very quickly adapting. And then we're like, I know, we'll make a vaccine. And they're just like, we're so yesterday with that one. Right, it's a fun game. Okay, so where were we? Dirt has microbes, and the microbes are essential to driving human evolution because you are a organism that is ecosystem. And so if the outer ecosystem and the inner ecosystem are what? What's the magic word? This is going to get a book.
Balance.
Yes! Allie Morrison, get some. Well, we got left is Witch's Cancer, How to Scale Your Wellness Business, and the hat.
What was the word?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
What did you say?
diverse.
Ah. Like we love unity and diversity. Right? Inside, on the skin, up the nostrils, like the whole thing is about that. So we lose that when we process all that. Okay, good. I think we got eat dirty. Does everyone feel like eat dirty? We covered that. Primal habit, which drives human evolution. Does anyone need more like dirt or cow dung or microbes in their diet? everybody. Yeah. Okay. Good. And then there's a lot of fiber, polyphenols, enzymes. So we got the majority of the what I call microbiome diet, because we like fats. We do, right? I mean, they're kind of catchy and fun. So microbiome diet is an easy way to capture, I think, all of that. That describes what it is. That you're a microbiome. You're feeding your microbiome. So you're eating the
Microbiome.
right? And this will be cool for like the next decade, and then it'll like phase out and we'll be on to the next thing. So we'll ride the fat. Okay. Yes.
What kills diversity?
Well, you all know.
Glyphosate.
Can we process that?
Bring it! Come on, bring it! Throw it in! All that pesticides! Yeah! Fake food! Fast food! Sugar! Netflix! I mean, then there. I mean, with everything in Ayurveda, then there's the spectrum, right? So it's like what's going to really take you out fucking fast, and that's chemical warfare.
Okay.
So anything that's on the chemical warfare spectrum, people buy it. That's the funny thing is we buy it. Yeah, we buy it. We buy it. We're addicted to it, and it's in our fat cells, and that's why they're endocrine disrupting chemicals.
Because you can't process.
Yeah, they're just going to disrupt. I mean, no, it's not even beyond process. Like they're going to disrupt the genetic code. Hard stop. Right, which is why leaky gut is obesity. Obesity is really dysbiosis. It's not even obesity. It's not what we think. Okay, good. So we got microbiome diet, eat dirty, same thing. Same. People like different words for different things. Some people are afraid of dirt and dung. And what are the other habits?
She had something really good to say. I want you to share because it was
Oh, sorry.
so
I'm
good.
sorry. I broke the structure. No, wait. Big brain fart. So now we got to do all. So we need to hear from each group. So who's going to be a spokesperson? Laura, will you be a spokesperson for your group?
We just
Similarities and points. Yeah.
Our talk's
the
good.
food.
It's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we said protection in community, community and protection to find safety, walking, traveling, exploring.
Like biped, upright, eyes on the horizon.
Interacting with nature, so being aware of the cycles of the sun, sleeping and waking.
Okay, so circadian rhythm habits. From light adjustment.
Water. Besides food, we said
Okay.
foraging and gathering.
Got it. So you guys are like in the like primate category, which is awesome. Everyone's like in the primate category. So then we want to also ask the human question as well. Right. So what are the habits that drove us as humans as well? I mean, this is an easy question in a setting like this. Like you're doing some like a business seminar with a bunch of people who like work in finance.
Money.
It's a little different. Okay, other groups. Your group. What were the habits your group came up with?
We talked about hunting, gathering, water, hygiene.
Yep.
Reproductive.
Sex.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Other group?
Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah, you're.
We did, hunting and gathering. We did socializing.
Yeah. Commune. Yeah.
Yes, we did reproduction.
Yeah.
We did the hunger for growth and progress. And we did faith. So not necessarily like religious based, but you believe in something like the universe, the sun, the, love, whatever it is.
Yeah.
What
so
else am I
something around
missing?
like
what are we missing?
Well, there's something else in there too that protection. You said protection.
Depending on others.
your group. No. Anyone got anything else from your group?
No, I would love, and I'm just so sorry. I keep
Talara.
Talara.
We
She was
kind of
amazing.
covered the same bases that everybody else did with primal needs based around food, shelter, safety, kind of community too though, because even as primates, we started collaborating together for our own safety and for the group benefit.
Yeah.
So that we could
Good.
have more, so that we
Good.
could create art, so that we create space.
Oh, art's in there. Okay, there's a new one. Yeah, good. Good. Any other differences now? So we've got a lot of similarities. Anyone want to speak to the differences, Daniel? What else you guys got?
Predicting, I'm like, predicting what? It's like weather.
Weather. Yeah, something with weather. There's something going on with humans and weather. Yeah, what is it? Or how do we?
Well, we have to pay attention to it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, how do you? Yeah.
There's something that
What's it
humans
gonna do
do that
tomorrow?
intentionally cultivates thermogenesis. So yes, there's something in how we are adapted to weather that's maybe a little different than the other primates. So really looking at like where are we a little different at this point from the other primates? What else do we do? Or what do we also do that modern culture really doesn't do? Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say with the hunter-gathering, we use tools.
Yeah.
And we use to strategize.
Yeah.
hunting, and we use memory to remember.
And
those
why do
things.
we use tools? Huh?
To be more efficient?
To be more efficient. For
Better,
what?
faster, better, faster.
Better, faster. For what?
Evolve.
Cultivate.
To evolve. To
For
what?
survival.
For survival. For what? Else. After we got survival. And what else?
To have sex.
Save
Make more people.
Oh, yeah.
Save time. Save time.
So there's more leisure, so there's more art, there's more time
Ah,
for resting.
for some fucking purpose.
Yeah.
Right? For, whether it's art or whether it's to build a bridge so we can visit our neighbors, right? Or like whatever, right? We're driven by purpose in a way that the other primates, a little questionable. That's like my Jewish Brooklyn dad coming through on that one. Like, yeah, we're a little different. So we orient towards purpose with focus. And when we do that as a community, we make shit happen. Who loves their running water? Right? You're gonna trade that? Like, not me. I love that shit. Like every day I'm like, hot, cold.
I thought you only did cold.
Ooh, there we go. We got one. Cold, cryo therapy. Now humans use cryotherapy a little different than the other mammals. The other mammals use it, but like I was just in there for a half an hour because I have some stuff to work out in my scar tissue. And then my body, I wrapped it like a bat, right? And my body goes into kriyas and it just shakes the vata out. Now, she's got a ton of primal habits, but she doesn't have that one. So we do yoga. Like we do things that intentionally move our awareness up and down our spinal column. Yeah? Okay, throw some good yoga words out for that. Kundalini. Yeah. Okay. So which ones are we missing? Yep.
So our group, all the ones everybody just said, but I just had this epiphany.
Ooh.
Oral storytelling.
Ooh. Yeah.
What's the other animals doing that? And that is primal. Because that's how from way back.
From way
back. And so we talked about systems, community building, exercising together, boarding, all that stuff. But I just realized I was like, I didn't talk about that. That's actually what we're all doing right now too.
That's what we're doing right now too. To the degree that we don't know what came first. Like we don't know what came first. We don't know if mythology came before the dreams or the dreams came before, we don't know where, we dream in myth, and that's primal, right? It's in every culture, the same fucking thing. There's one-eyed God. Oh, what do you know? Right?
Yeah.
Why is there a one-eyed God? What do you have to do to become a one-eyed God?
Poke your eye out.
Yeah.
Wait, are you gonna poke your own eye out? Come on, let's get smarter. What do you have to do to lose an eye?
A giant monster.
Yeah, that's fucking right. You get a book. That's right. It's scary. You gotta lose an eye. You almost lost your life, but you only lost an eye. So where did you go?
Warrior.
You went to hell. That's where you went. Right? In the myths and the archetypes, where do you go to lose an eye?
Hell.
You go to hell. Has anyone ever told someone else to go to hell? It's really fun, isn't it? That's how they do it in the South, right? Bless her heart. Isn't it? Have you ever just like, oh yeah, I've got some Southern friends, and they're like, bless her heart. I'll tell you what I really think about.
We have another one of skill specialization.
Yep, we're using skills and tools. Yep, and I'm going to put that in focus and purpose. So we'll like develop things that help us focus towards a purpose. When we do that in the community, it happens faster. Try to build a bridge alone, right? Or raise a child. Okay, good. So we got a lot of them. We're missing some big ones, but we got cryotherapy now in the mix, which is intentionally using cold air or water to do what? Why does it work? What is it doing?
Put your body into a fight or flight.
Yeah, so it's stimulating it's going from sympathetic to parasympathetic response if you're like even faced for 2 minutes. Yes, very good.
Anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, why? It's cold, so what is it doing? Right?
Lower. This is internal heat.
So where's the heat going? You get in cold water, where's the heat going?
Your core.
To your uterus.
I thought to your heart.
Okay, there's definitely, we have all more books out there, so you don't have to take How to Scale Your Wellness Business if you're not a wellness pro. Or you could give it to a yoga teacher here, a friend. Where does it go? You guys got this.
Organs.
Your heart.
Brain.
Core.
Skin.
The sensors.
You pee.
You pee on your
I
head.
love you for saying that. And you do too. But where does the heat go? Where does the inflammation go? You're in cold water. Where does it go?
Into the water.
Yes! Oh, I knew we had it. I so knew we had that one. I'm like, we are gonna get that one. So it's like, right? You're like warming up the cold water. If you sit in this creek, you'll feel it. And especially those of you who have imbalances from your third chakra, right? The seat of pitta, both mentally and physically, the seat of pitta. Just feel it. You'll feel the heat leave, particularly your skull. It'll feel like hell. Like, oh, it feels like, oh, and if I go to hell, I get to lose an eye. And then I get to find
Heat. God.
true wisdom. Yes. Right. And then I'm less likely to do the dumb shit I know I'm not supposed to do. But it's hard because the issues are in the tissues, right? And there's a lot of addictive shit out there that makes it much, much harder than it's ever been for us as a species. Okay, so we covered cryotherapy. There's few like big ones, like you guys would die faster without these. So we should figure that out.
Breathing?
Yeah, there's something going on with the conscious movement of breath, right? We definitely do that. And we do it in a lot of ways. And cryotherapy will force it, right? So certain habits, they click in and it's like, oh yeah, that'll force that. Even being, exposed to cold air in the morning, it was like, you'll notice, and then you're like, oh, junk is gonna come out, right? Anyone?
Yeah.
Junk coming out and gets cold? No, never. Yeah, right? Mucus comes out, and you cough something up, especially, or you get a cold, and then stuff comes out. Hopefully you don't get a cold because you're keeping it cleaner. Okay. So 2 more big categories.
Sleep?
Yeah, we need sleep, that's for sure. Yeah. And all primates do, so yeah, sleep. And
Meditate. Meditate.
yeah, we do, don't we? We consciously adapt our mind, especially higher IQ, right? Like that's not, so in our species, there's a bell curve with IQ, right? 50% is at 100. So at higher IQ, we're like, yeah, the thing's fucking always on, right? The Buddhists were like, monkey. We're like, yeah, no shit, right? Like this thing's chattering. But I can do what I please, especially if I use the breath, right? Okay, we're missing 2 big ones.
Language.
You have food and you have
Fasting.
fasting. Fasting's really big. And it changes brainwave states. And so that's why fasting's so big, is when you intentionally fast, right, you hit stem cell development within 48 to 72 hours. You hit human growth hormone production. So this shit's important, right? Like if you want to be regenerative, not degenerative. Yes! Exactly, right? You want to regenerate, you need stem cells and growth hormone at any age, but especially as you get older. You stop getting that stuff for free and you got to work for it. But you're getting smarter as you're getting older. And if you're getting smarter as you're getting older, you're getting to unlock the subtle body, particularly over 50. Yeah, who's in the over 50 crowd? I'm part of you. Yeah, I just made it. You too, huh? Yeah, freshies. We got a lot to learn. All right. So we got fasting. Fast mimicking diet, like 5 days. This is the cheater. Who likes to cheat besides me? Who's a rebel? Who needs an excuse? Yeah, so you don't have to do it. Yeah, it's like not Puritanism. This is tantric. We're non-dual, right? Yes, and. Start where you are. And for 5 days, every quarter, you just cut calories down to 500-600. Bigger guys, 657. Smaller ladies, 455. And you just cut it down and you'll start to regenerate. Now, I mean, these guys do it too. So they're like, then your animals ever just stop eating for a few days? And you're like, oh, they're sick, they're acting weird. Yeah, let them move through it. Okay, so we got really good at it, and we got really good at it with this other habit, which we've already heard is urine therapy or Shivam Boo. Yeah, Shivam Boo. So Ambu is, come on, Sanskrit for 200. Okay, we got to throw a prize in. Ambu.
Ritual?
Nope. Here, I'll judge the Ambu. I don't know if I can be Ambu. Kind of.
Feminine.
If you were a chakra and you were Ambu, your element would be
Water.
Ooh, we got it. Who got it? Who got it? You get a prize. If you don't like these left prizes, we have How to Scale Your Wellness Business. And the Club Thrive Global. This is my club. Yeah. And guess what we do in Club Thrive Global?
Drinking.
Ah, not until you're like pretty advanced, but yeah, everyone ends up there. We do primal habits and we do strategic life design. Okay, so you can take your choice from the table. So Shiva means
Love.
Shiva, Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.
The power of the absolute.
Okay, we've got the absolute. We're in the realm of absolute by other names. God, divine, source. Yeah, so we got all that, right? It's like higher source, or divine, or God. There's always a hint when there's the in a sound, like God. Just make it an A instead of an O and just say God. You're like, oh yeah, it kind of works. Right? And then Kali, right? Allah. So and we're just do a big deep breath in. Where's the energy go? Down. Apanavayu. It's a lot of right? It's a lot of apanavayu. So that's the downward moving force, this apana, this So Shiva is downward moving, but higher order. Ooh. Okay. So we have paradox, we've got non-duality, we've got the body works in paradox. So humans a little brighter. I mean, I know it's arguable. Chimpanzees, but we did figure out the running water thing. Who likes it? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's Shiva. And then Ambu is water. So we have God, water. And that's the name for when you take your urine and you feed your microbiomes. So now we're back at microbiome diet. So what is urine high in? Four main elements are nitrogen, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen. So exactly, it's really high in nitrogen. So if we look at 100% of what you pee out every couple hours, it's 95% water. Yeah. And then it's got some urea and some uric acid. And so what's the differentiating factor in urea and uric acid versus water and oxygen and carbon dioxide? Nitrogen. And we use nitrogen where? In nature. Like how do we use it? In soil. And why do we use it?
Because it feeds the plants.
Because it feeds the plants. Mm-hmm. It feeds the plants. And the plants are growing and life force, and we eat the plants, right? So that's all the stuff that we're consuming all the time is fed by nitrogen. So the body produces its own nitrogen. So something none of us learned. And if anyone has anyone else that they've heard talk about this, please put us together. I mean, the world, that's part of commune, because we need more scientists to understand what is the nitrogen cycle. What is the nitrogen cycle of the body? We know there's a nitrogen cycle outside the body. So we put all these nitrogen fertilizers on plants and they grow. Okay, we tracking? Okay. So what else is in urine besides the nitrogen from urea and uric acid? That's right, everything else. Like everything else. It was in your blood plasma. So it's the whole mix of everything you've been up to, everything that you are, and all the viruses and all the bacteria and like everything is your current blueprint for right now. Because you can change it, right? Has anyone been like, oh yeah, I can change it? Eat some beets, take methylene blue. Anyone using methylene blue? Oh, it's great I know this is an anti-inflammatory talk. It really is a great substance to take. It's blue dye and it just pulls shit out. And then your pee turns, well, blue and yellow make green. Yeah, so your pee turns green. Right, so pee's always changing and it's always got what you is. So it actually, if you put it in any microbiome, your skin microbiome, your sinus microbiome, if you drink it, it becomes part of your gut microbiome. And then because it's so high in water, it quickly moves into your blood microbiome. And then from there, the blood-brain axis. And there's not really much understood about the brain microbiome, but we do know that there's dysbiosis that happens through the amyloid plaque. Okay, so I think we got most of them anyways. Yeah? We should check. Oh, there's another one. There's one that, and this it kind of gets a little bit like, yeah, and then you just keep naming them, and there's maybe a million of them. I came to the conclusion in writing on Inflamed that forgiveness had to be pulled out because of forgiveness is the skill that allows community to evolve. Right? So it's like, you fuck shit up with someone and it's your fault and you need to be forgiven, like you do. Like that's true. Because then the tribe's a whole. But right now it's like we all pretend like we can live isolated and that really works great, doesn't it? If you like depression and anxiety and autoimmune disorders. Right? That data is done. That data is so done. So we're an ultra-social species. We rely on commune. And has anyone ever had, oh my gosh, like me and Sandy, we fucking blew up at each other yesterday. That was hilarious. I was like, how long is that gonna last? Like 10 minutes later, like, I love you, right? It's so adorable. It's so adorable when our stuff gets triggered and we're able to just be like, oh yeah, right. And then there's this release. And then I was like, oh fuck, I gotta go stick my head in the cold plunge. So that's what I did, right? And she had to process and she did it. And then we came back and it was like, what did you learn from them? It's like, what did you learn from them? It's like, yeah, that's forgiveness and community. So you upcycle through a lot of trauma fast, a lot more fast when you have those two habits as part of your life.
Feeling stuck in modern life's chaos? You're not alone. I'm Kate Stillman, and I know that chronic inflammation isn't just stealing your health, it's limiting your entire future. Those symptoms you're battling, they're not your fault. They're the price of modern living. But here's what changes everything: strategic living. In Club Thrive, we don't just heal your body, we help you design your next chapter. Our proven system guides you to steer your life strategically, building financial resilience and a lifestyle beyond your current dreams. Ready to see who you could become? Visit clubthrive.global and click free training to take the Future You quiz. After the quiz, you'll receive a free 15-minute session with me, yours truly, to map out your deeper dreams. If Club Thrive is your path to purpose, we'll both know.
Okay, so circadian rhythm habits, eat dirtier microbiome diet, where we're connected to earth and soil and cow dung, and all the diversity and all the fiber and all the polyphenols and all the enzymes that go along with microbiome diets. We got those two. We got fasting with fast mimicking diets seasonally, and that resets the fat tissue, which will digest the endocrine disrupting chemicals, and so then they'll be out of the body, so then we won't crave the shit that makes us dumb and fat. Then we got urine therapy, so the microbiome's getting fertilized and hydrated. And then, oh yeah, this is, who wants black belt? Do we have any like, who wants the down low? Anyone?
We all do.
You do?
Yeah.
Are you ready for it though?
I don't know what you're saying.
She's gonna talk about down the road.
Okay, so the polycanon, any Buddhist text readers around here? Anyone like, yeah, kind of like Buddhism? Right? Okay, so polycanon, and that's where you get the mendicant needs 5 things. So he got it down to 5. You need a bagging bowl, you need a tree with roots big enough to sleep between, you need a little bit to cover your privates because not everyone wants to see your junk.
A bowl.
Yeah, you definitely need a bowl because like you will eventually need to eat. Or do something. Eat or do something with a bowl.
Can I water?
Like stir your own bowl. Oh, that feels so good. Okay, and what's the last one? Nobody ever talks about the last one. It's racy. We're so not ready for this. Okay. It is
Urine.
what kind?
Urine?
Fermented.
Yes. You already got the book, so. I mean, I didn't fucking write it. It's the Buddha. Like, what are you gonna do?
It's in the Buddhist text.
It's in the polycanon.
Tell the story.
Tell this. I'm just reporting from Uninflamed. Like, I was like, why does this shit work? And I was like, oh my god. No one knows about the nitrogen cycle? Like, this is so dumb. Why me? Has anyone ever heard those why me days where you're like, why fucking me, man? Like, my business is good. Yoga healer's great. The whole community goes into urine therapy. And I'm like, do I tell the truth? And then why does it work? Because everyone's like, I want the science. So I write Uninflamed. And it's like, well, here's the science. And it shows up in every culture. But not every culture seemed to ferment. At least lately. The only old school yogi I know that was doing it was who? He was in this country. Oh, it feels so good. What do you guys think about it? Keep coming at me. Throw me names. Oh.
Ram Dass?
He's Indian. I'll give you that. He's Indian.
Patanjali?
Nope. Nope. I can do this for a very long time. Oh, okay, Swami Rama. Himalayan Institute. Yoga International. Swami Rama. But it was completely underground, and I'm like, dude, you fucker. You're gonna make me do it? You make me tell everyone about the whole age urine thing that you were doing and not telling anybody? And it feeds the microbiome and everyone's microbiomes are dying, and like you're like literally like this is a bad day in my world. Like, tell the truth or be like everybody else and just keep it underground. A lot in Tantra was just underground. Why? Because you get killed, right? But I don't think, I mean, I might get killed. I don't really care. I've almost died already. Doesn't matter. I'm good. But it does freak people out that much. So much so that in 2017, the government in China made it illegal to drink your pee. Because it's an old Chinese thing. Like the guys were like, HRT, right? I'm gonna take some 13-year-old testosterone. That's been going on forever, Daniel. Forever. We've been doing that since we've had a cup or a bowl, right? And so that's what the Buddha said. You need fermented urine as your medicine. So after 9 months, urine, if it's just exposed to the elements, and it doesn't matter if it freezes, and it doesn't matter if it gets hot or cold, but it does like air, it likes to breathe, it ferments. If you have mold in your body, you'll see it grow in the bottom. So it's an easy way to see, it's an easy mold test. It's an easy way to just see how crappy you are. Is just see what happens to that stuff over 9 months, and if it grows its own SCOBY, you're like, okay.
It takes 9 months.
I have dysbiosis, and most of us do. It's okay, don't sweat it. The good stuff will be on top, and then that is the medicine. That's what the Buddha's talking about, and it feeds the microbiome. So if anyone has any sort of sinus or lung chronic issues here, any chronic issues in this part, right, then you snort. And you start with fresh. Don't worry, you're not gonna have H for 9 months. So even if you started saving today, you don't have the goods for 9 months. Like you have no idea what we're even talking about for 9 months if you were to catch your pee in a jar today. But it makes Buddha's top 5 list, and like Buddha's pretty heavy hitter, yeah, historically speaking. Concise. Yeah, able to name the things without going on and on. All right. So if it's more in your pelvis, hip joint pain, IBS, any of this, then you can go in the rear door. And then there's actually no taste to it, so then it gets really interesting. So then it starts to nourish, and then actually will pull out the dysbiosis. It suctions it out. You put it on your skin. Any microbiome will do. So the uric acid and the urea seem to, so has anyone ever heard of the neti pot or done the neti pot? Yeah, good. Tongue scrapers out there? Yeah, so all of these, like we were doing things before then. So what's in the neti pot? Salt and what are we trying to do? Make it temperature-wise? Like our body temperature, so salt and water, our body temperature. What else is salt and water, our body temperature? Pee. Comes out, it's right at your body temperature. It tastes just as salty as your blood is in the moment. So it's always going to match exactly that. And so then that hydrates the sinuses, the microbiome. You can switch it, drink it, it'll hydrate the body. It has all the electrolytes, all the amino acids. So this is where you have extended fasting. Ever wonder how Gandhi did it? Especially when he took out salt. Has anyone read Gandhi's Health Guide? Anyone besides me? It's pretty, I mean, it's kind of a good read. You're just like, what was that between yoga and primal Gandhi? Yeah. Okay. So any questions?
He was drinking water and he was drinking his urine.
So wait, so you pee in the neti pot and then you like
you don't even need it.
Yeah, okay.
We are that complicated, right? And then skin microbiome, anyone, I mean, the studies are really sad. Uninflamed made me really, it made me so sad I got cancer. Yeah. Not entirely. So ectopic dermatitis, asthma, and allergies are the top 3 issues that we medicate our what for? Children. Yes. Our youth. Yes, we medicate our youth with microbiome, that have microbiome issues, so asthmas in the lungs, right? Ectopic dermatitis is in the skin, yeah, and then allergies are, they can be fucking anywhere, can't they, right? Like, mucus, which is good. So that's all the microbiome's dying, right? So then we give medication, which is on the chemical spectrum, stronger, then weaker for what kills eubiotic microbiome, which is the stuff the human DNA cells need to optimize genetic code, cycle after cycle. It kills that. So then we're really in trouble. Yeah. But don't worry, your peak can make you better.
Can you tell me what you know or think about autoimmune?
Yeah, so what do you guys know or think about after all that? I'll take my seat. What do we know about autoimmune? So auto is, and immune is?
It's your self-regulating immune system.
So if we have, right, so our self has an immune system, right? That's like the auto, yeah, and the autoimmune system's, or the immune system's job is to
keep invaders out.
Oh, we're missing a really big word. I'm not that excited after my lecture. The immune system. There's two parts of the, okay, let's start with it. There's two parts of the immune system.
White blood cells.
So we got one, there's a protection function, and then there's a what function, but it's even,
Fight.
Growth.
Regenerative?
Get happier, you're getting a little happier. Okay, we're gonna go back to the ah sound. Adapt. The adaptive immune system. This is what, and it's not your fault. It's so fucking not your fault. Like, media really took over during COVID when it came to helping you understand your immune system. And it really didn't want to help you understand that your immune system is, to viruses, is adaptive. So the adaptive immune system's job is to update the genetic code that's happening on the outside with the genetic code that's happening on the inside. Okay. Adaptive immune system. And viruses adapt a lot faster than bacteria or fungi, right? They're like the, right? They're just a fragment. They're just a fragment. So they adapt really fast. So then we're uptaking the genetic code. And then our genetic code changes because we then developed antibodies, right? And then we have more of a like, oh, we know what's us and we know what's like not us out there, but we always keep some of not us in us. Hard stop. That data's in. We particularly store it in our sinuses, right? Because those are hopefully mediating between our lungs. Hopefully we're not mouth breathers. The study on mouth breathers being dumb is done. Like, that's all done. We know that. So if you're mouth breathing, like, you really need to take snort to task and break up the fibrotic tissue that is blocking your ostia, and that has decayed your sinuses, and you need to wake up the sinus microbiome because its job is to produce the nitric oxide, and the nitric oxide's job is to move oxygen into the body. So we moved to a 3-gas cycle. I learned the 2-gas cycle in biology. Anyone else? Oxygen in, carbon dioxide out, and then we found out, oh, we missed a part. And that part had which of the 4 base elements? Nitrogen, right. So you have oxygen, nitric oxide production, and then that allows oxygen in and carbon dioxide out. It's the ether, it's the expansion, and it's also the moving molecule. So nitric oxide, it's an oxide, so there's a free electron. It seems to tunnel. If anyone likes quantum physics, check it out. You might love studying nitric oxide in the body. It also tends to fry inflammation, nitric oxide. Like an electrocution type of fry, not heat, right? So if we have an autoimmune condition, our habits are more conventional or more primal? Yeah. Right, we have severe, there's often like, where is it happening and what else happened, and the mind, so stress is huge, and the primal habits keep us de-stressing, and then they increase our capability and capacity so we can handle more and be more on purpose and more on focus and more communally organized as citizens to a future rather than consumers towards our death, right? We get organized because there's always going to be the fucking machine. There's always been the machine, right? Since agriculture anyways. And who knows before then? It looks like it's been alive and well, at least since art. We've been trying to kill each other over shit. Right. So, you gotta save your genetic code. The further back you go, primal habits are easy. Microbiome diet, fasting. Right, sleep and sex and groove and all like the good juicy stuff that replenishes delta and theta brainwave states and can balance that alpha beta that you get from looking at screens. Does anyone ever feel like they start to just fucking vibrate after a while? Like zeros and ones, zeros and ones, zeros and ones. Step away from the matrix and go put your head in the creek. And then you just feel it wash downstream. So there's inflammation somewhere with autoimmune. The more targeted it is, the more conventional the habits have usually been over time. The more unprocessed trauma there usually is in the tissue. So all the primal habits on white. We're still missing a big fucking primal habit, but you guys got it in your group. It's your favorite one. It's your favorite one. It's your favorite one. Trip. That's right.
Oh, the mushrooms and psychedelics.
Exactly. Why? Go back to microbiome.
Oh, the shit part.
Yep, that's part. That's you're halfway home. You want to take it across the finish line? We have bacteria. We have virus. Fungus.
Oh, fungus.
Fungus.
Oh,
yeah.
So we have a psychotropic fungus on our hands that makes us process our trauma.
Oh, yeah.
We use it ceremonially for as long as we know on every continent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That seems to be interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And then they make it illegal, so then you do yoga, then you do breath practices and all this stuff and fast forever. And we do it the legal way, not. But yeah, we did for a long time. Some of you had to live through the 60s, like it's, I got fucking, you want to talk? No, this is so bad. I cannot believe I'm going to tell you the story right now. It's 2002. This town is run by Mormons. I live 10 miles that way on the highway. And there's a yurt and a 1969 single bed cab made by BW in the yard. This is not going to go well, is it? 2 pot plants, felony charge. Right, so plant medicines, the entheogens became illegal, which meant that if you're using them, there are recognizable symbols in culture that maybe over there, single cow, but this is weird. What are they doing? But we had 2, Charlie. We were not growing pot. It was one of these terrible stories where my brother just was harvesting in Arcata, brought some seeds, put them in a pot, then we had pot plants. It was not we're trying to grow. There's no operation here. Oh my gosh. So humans naturally use plants as medicine. The category of plants as medicine that are psychotropic are called entheogens. Entheogen means en in theo. Theos, God. Agen, it's a thing that's in the plant world. Okay, so we have these in God plants and then we make them illegal, but we'll sell you other psychotropics. Which will we sell you? Which psychotropics are super hot on Friday night, Saturday night? Alcohol. And if you're Mormon, you'll go to sugar. Yeah, sugar. So sugar fermented, sugar not fermented. Keeps you down, keeps you easy to control. Makes you a consumer, then you'll buy all the stuff. Then you'll buy the medicine, you'll buy whatever you're scared of, and they sell you, or whatever you think will make you feel good for half a second. And you'll lose focus and purpose, and you'll blame everybody instead of forgiving everybody, and be alone and miserable and die. Okay, so. Yeah.
Well, I thought of something else that doesn't necessarily go.
Let me say one more thing on trip. Okay, so we used to trip how? So that's why we have to go back, and we're doing it again now. We used to trip how? What was it like? Ceremony. There's ceremony. Ceremony includes
community,
rituals, song,
also
container, processing, experience, intention, a journey,
A guide.
a guide.
Leader,
Yeah, leader, a guide. Yeah. Yes, anyone, George? Right, okay. And the guide's job is to what, in a way? It's a lot of jobs of what's going on.
Space.
Space. Space.
Well, afterwards, when you go back and look at,
Process. Model. You guys are missing the biggest one. Think of JC. Who'd JC get to talk to?
God.
Yeah. Right. Right. So we've always been neurodiverse. We've always been, and we're spicy now, right? We've always been neurospicy. I know, we're so fucking hip with these words. It's awesome. So we're neurospicy, and we've always been neurospicy, and the shamans were a little extra neuro. Right, which is why everyone's like, okay, you're one of them, so we don't expect you to be normal. But you've got a big plug-in, right? You can go through the worlds, and you can go through time and space. So that's shaman. Right. The safety and all that shit, like, I don't know. Like, I'm guessing, like, other people have that because there's naturally other supporters that aren't as strong in that huge connection, and it's really good if someone can really let fucking go. Right. And not have to worry about everything else and be the messenger. So we have sacred ceremony as part of it. All right. Are we at time?
No.
How much time do we have? I want to make sure we get all the questions answered.
20 minutes.
Okay, perfect. So what is autoimmune? Autoimmune is when we've had conventional habits for so long that it's created severe dysbiosis, first generally and then locally. So if you have Hashimoto's thyroiditis, the localization is where?
Thyroid.
The thyroid, right. If you have MS, the localization is where? Nerve tissue. Yeah, it's in the nerve tissue. Right. And this is where understanding Ayurveda can be really, really helpful because the nerve tissue is Majja Dhatu. It's like a level of tissue, and we understand things more at the systems level in the tissue. I'm like, oh, this is an imbalance of Vata and Pitta in the tissue. How do we get it out? Right? Primal. So that's why I kind of like the habits is you all have different issues. Like I would not think you would be here unless you're just like a Kate Stillman fangirl if you didn't have an issue you wanted to solve for yourself. So then, but the answer's the same for all of us, right? Which is why, like, I'm not going to make any money from you guys doing primal habits and diagnosing you and putting a label on you and saying like, well, you have da 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 da. So you need that da 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 da, and what's in it? Da 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 da. You ever read like a pharmaceutical label? Yeah, there's a lot of things in there trying to do you better. You more better.
Magnifying glass?
Exactly. So if the immune system is the environment, if you are not separate than the environment, if you are nature, if you are ecology, right? And ecology outside is your ecology inside, and you're disconnected from ecology. Are you going to have a bigger or smaller issue with autoimmune issues if you're female? Bigger. Are you going to have a bigger or smaller issue with all the things that guys get? Bigger, right? So like whatever it is, heart disease, diabetes, all the prostate types of cancer. All right. Questions?
Go over the fasting. You said 500 calories quarterly, 48 hours.
Oh yeah. And I don't have postcards for this yet, but it is free. Does anyone ever use the school app, SKOOL? Kelly can raise her hand now. We did it today. Yeah, she's like,
The what app?
SKOOL.com. Okay, if you put it on your phone, you'll be happy. Because it's like a smarter way of communing socially around whatever it is you're trying to learn or however you're trying to grow. Like, I'm smart enough to go to school and they don't even know how to spell it right. No, what's even crazier is I had, I'm like, sophomore year, basketball, IM, like co-ed IM team, and I name our team Too Cool for School, and I spell it the same way. Cool with a K, school with a K. And then Sam Ovens of consulting.com and Alex Ramosi of acquisitions.com are blowing it up. And it's solving a very simple problem, which is like communities of people like to learn and grow and talk and do things together without the fucking noise, Mark Zuckerberg. So people use school. So I have Club Thrive TV on school. And in Club Thrive TV is fast moving guidance. So if you guys, the easiest thing to do here is probably going to be send me an email at cat@yogahealer.com and we'll give you access into Club Thrive TV School, which is free, and the app is free. There's no commerce here. No commerce is being exchanged. We're just learning fast mimicking that, and the easiest way I can show you like the whole thing, if you're gonna do it, because you might be like, what did she learn about it? How do we make it easier? And honestly, those of you who are like, it's not complicated, it's 600 calories a day. Yeah, that's it. That's all you need to know, 5 days.
Once a month?
If you have severe shit and you're trying to get better faster than any of the primal habits, you can just increase the frequency until the primal habits will take over, right? And then you'll just be in design. You'll just be constantly tweaking and designing according to, it's all completely intuitive. There's like no need for, like, I think it's funny, like, why did the Buddha have to write it down? Like, because everyone kind of knew, right? So why did they have to write it down? And I haven't answered that one yet. But then Ayurveda was kind of like that. So maybe the people stopped remembering, started forgetting. And someone's like, better write this shit down for later. And we're sort of there right now, right? That's how I felt writing Primal Habits. It's like, we know it, but it's got to be really easy for people to just get it. And why do we like 5s? Why are all the Vedas in 5s, right? Because you need 5 things so you can. So what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? 5 elements. Okay. So with fasting and urine therapy, people can go really deep, really long. I mean, you can go, say you're like, fuck culture, like not just fuck agriculture, but like fuck culture, like I gotta go 100% primal and solve this shit as fast as I possibly can. What you would do is called looping. Which looks like what?
Revolution.
Revolving.
Which looks like what? What do I look like?
Revolving.
Right? So the more you revolve and evolve, right? And I really like the word upcycle. You're upcycling Shivambu. You're becoming more and more self, and it starts to push out dysbiosis because it fertilizes the microbiome. It starts to digest dysbiosis, which is fucking ugly. So let's just call a spade a spade. Like you guys, if you do this, like shit's gonna come out, you're gonna be emotional wreck, you're gonna be like, fuck him, right? Like, and it's gonna process out. You're like, what is coming out? Your shit will smell like dead animals, right? Like this is not, your skin will rash, like stuff is gonna come out and you'll detox. And that is one of the primal habits for modern culture, and I'm sure we always needed it, because why would we have needed it before endocrine disrupting chemicals? And light pollution. Right. So you loop. So if you're just like, I'm done fucking around with my whatever condition. And then what happens is you quickly change. Like if you loop for 2 hours, and I double dog dare any of you because I know none of you will. But if you do, come up and you'll get a prize. If you do, you'll notice in 2 hours your urine will be way more like coconut water. And you will not crave shit. You'll just be like, oh, I want coconut water. Oh, I want some fruit. Oh, I want to make better pee. Better pee is me. I know, right? I brought my old one. I used to be so PC, you guys. This was so in hand 20 years ago when I owned Yoga Tejas in town. I almost brought my Yoga Tejas t-shirt from Drake, Idaho. And then people are like, well, where do the supplements and medications come in? And it's like, it's skillful use then. Right, so need for medications dropped significantly in the citizen data. right? And all we have is citizen data because why would we study the nitrogen cycle? Because then everybody would be okay and we couldn't sell them shit. So with evolved is medicine, which is, it is in detox, but it's actually much more like, how do I use it? Funny you ask. I aged urine enemas to decrease vata. So vata is responsible for 60% of disease in Ayurvedic medicine. One of the causes of disease is prajna parada, when you forget your shit. You're like, oh, that was working for me, and then I met this hot guy and I stopped doing it, and then it didn't work for me, and then I got, right? We all do that all the time, right? Or I do it traveling a lot. We have a lot of homes, like go a lot of places. And sometimes I can have it totally dialed in one place and then forget it as soon as I travel. Has anyone ever done that?
Absolutely.
Right, so vata vitiates. But vata causes disease, and the majority of disease over 50 is caused by which dosha? That's right. So then the name of the game becomes, how do you get the vata out of the body? Otherwise you get stiff and hard and crunchy and dried up and grumpy and rough, and nobody loves you because you're not fun. That's your juiciness. So the aged urine enema seems to just coagulate and suck vata out. I know. If you guys just don't blame me, just the messenger, okay? I was so not interested in being the messenger at all. Yeah.
So what about like next day's urine? What about not aged? Is that also?
Yeah. So if you start looping, so say you start looping and grouping, right? You're looping and then you're peeing in, like, because you're just like, I can't keep up. If any of you start looping, you won't be able to keep up with the amount of urine your body will produce and keep. And you'll want water too. It's going to be like, oh, this is the name of the game. We've been waiting 49 or 59 or 79 years for this. And so then it'll just start producing. So you save some, and now you've got your H collection going. So in 9 months, you're going to be stoked. But even in 2 weeks, you're going to have more, or even in a day, you're going to have more nitrogen. Urine smells like what in the first week or two of aging? Ammonia, because it's high in ammonia. Ammonia is even, right? I know. It's not my fault. Okay, so less oxygen, and ammonia has more nitrogen and hydrogen. So hydrogen is the lightest of the elements. So that now you're just like, oh, stuff's gonna move with ammonia. It's a zinger, right? Does anyone mom clean with ammonia? Right? Because that's all we did. We always cleaned with urine. We always cleaned with like week-old urine. We've been using this stuff for literally ever. Because you clean with it, you get it on your skin, and you get up your nose, right? And it's amazing. And your microbiome's like, oh, over here, please. Oh, yeah. And then your spine cracks, and you're like, whoa. That's weird. I put urine on my body, and I had a chiropractic adjustment.
Were we cleaning with like cow urine?
No. Why would you bother cow urine? You follow a cow around.
I thought Indian like.
They use everything because it became on PC. Because it became on PC to use human urine, and then now it's on PC to use cow urine. Right? Like, who's kind of like, that wouldn't go over well at home if I brought the.
Maybe along the lines of like it became not cool to breastfeed.
Anything that's primal. I mean, it's uncool to sleep right now. Like, people are sacrificing sleep, right? Netflix's biggest competitor is sleep, and they're public about it. Right? You disrupt sleep, like, you can control people. Like, you get disrupted sleep plus sugar, right? Because sugar is the legal psychotropic, plus caffeine. Oh boy. It's really easy to control people. So primal is a little out of control. And the kundalini in yoga becomes cultivated. So in the step in between, what will happen is a lot of shaking, a lot of twitching, right? As the trauma breaks out of the tissue. Whether it's in the thyroid, whether it's in the nervous system, whether it's from scar tissue, and it's just the fascia's just trying to like, we used to slide, right? And then all the emotion, all the issues in the tissues. So there's always the emotional component. Okay, next question.
So if you're looping, you're not fermenting.
No, you're doing both.
Oh, but you're doing both.
Because you can't, because you won't be able to keep up.
Right.
Like, you start looping, you're gonna be like, okay, there's extra.
Oh.
Nature provides
I
abundance.
was able to pee enough to keep up.
No, you won't be able to put enough. You like even if you try double dog dare you, like the people that try, they have stories to tell. But it happens even faster. So if you already have like your age store, so then where it goes, just to let you know, is you fill the bathtub.
Yeah.
Right? Because then the microbiome just is like. So you guys, what's important to recognize is like we've been doing this stuff forever. And same thing with the psychedelics. And the more you do urine therapy and psychedelics, the more you fast. And the more you fast and do urine therapy, the more you do like tiny bit. It can be honestly, it can just be homeopathic level of psilocybin. And you're getting, and read the studies, the 2023 studies on microbiome, gut-brain axis, psilocybin. It's the aggregate studies that have now been published in the 2023 literature. It's sort of like, fuck, it works for everything.
So when you put it in a container.
Yeah.
I want to know where you put it and how.
Yeah. Daniel will tell you.
Well, you gotta hide that shit, obviously.
Daniel will tell you. Daniel asked me the same question.
Yeah, I was like, what?
What?
How long do you age it for? Well, she already told us 9 months, so I was shocked. I was like, oh, okay. But I was like concerned about, well, what if it gets too hot? Do you have to keep it at a temperature? You just answer that today. Right?
Yeah. You can freeze, you can
Too hot?
You can do whatever it's gonna do.
It can't get too hot. She called, Kate did share with me, she said, well, I gotta go, a whole bunch over there in my garage, go look at them, but they're uncovered. So I remember that much, they're uncovered.
Yeah, what did it look like? Bunch of jars?
Bunch of jars. Urine.
Yeah. Does anyone ferment food? Do we have any? Yeah, right. It's kind of like a bunch of jars. They're sort of doing their things. Does anyone make miso? Do we have any long? Yeah, right. It's like a jar. It's sitting there for years. Longer the better.
Guess it doesn't matter.
So some people use a mini fridge. Like in Club Thrive, we have an intergenerational community. So we have people that live like almost like college style with other people, and they find like their own little mini fridge in their room because the off-gassing with the ammonia phase is intense for a bit. But after 9 months, it doesn't really off-gas. So then you're kind of over that issue. It's a temporary issue with that. And then people will do things. So in traditional shamanic ceremonies, they would always upcycle their urine, right? So you'd catch it, and then it goes into a subtler. It's always subtler. So the gross, so first pass, and then there's subtler. So sometimes people will catch and age very specific urine. So fasting urine, because it's higher in stem cells and growth hormone. So if you're doing your FMD, like you might want to save some after day 3. That's, you guys, this is like black belt. I call it the gold room. Like we are so deep in the swimming pool right now. Okay? But that's what the users do. That's what citizen data is showing. And then you don't really bother in between those cycles because it doesn't take that much to age, and it makes very, very strong medicine.
And how much are you drinking at once?
Of aged? Aged is medicine. So I don't use, the more you don't need medicine, you don't really choose to use it, right? But it's there. But I like it eyes still, definitely eyes. I definitely like enemas. Aged enemas. Right now, I could probably go like every other day because I'm still clearing scar tissue in my hip. So if I'm good about it, I do that much. But otherwise, like maintenance, people will just use it like some people definitely, the yogis, like Swami Rama, skin daily. That's Abhyanga. That's sesame oil. It looks like sesame oil. It feels like sesame oil. It smells somewhat similar to sesame oil. Has the exact same qualities as sesame oil, except for that it's yours. So it's like, does not like sesame oil. You kind of laugh at that point, like salt water and sesame oil. You're like, oh, you had me going. Fresh, aged. So then you just use it wherever it needs to be used, whenever. So I was on the soccer field today, and it's hard to be me, right? Running water, the Audi, 10 houses. It's hard to be me now. It is hard, right? Because I've got to like hold my tongue all the fucking time, except for right now. So there's a kid on the soccer field today. I'm watching my kids. I taught this morning, ran up to the Driggs High School, Teton High. game. And there's just, you know, all these chronic inflammatory issues in all of our children. They're running around playing high school soccer. So anyways, like one of the gals, her bone, she has a bone bruise, and I'm just like, oh, aged. And, you know, you basically make like a wool sock compress, plastic bag, tie it on a wool sock, go to sleep at night. Get those stem cells back into the bone. And all the nourishment for all the tissues. So it fertilizes all 7 dhatus. So there's a lot that you can do with aged if you have it. And if other people don't want you to have it, now you're back to like commune and forgive and purpose and some bigger questions about you and culture, and or you just buy them in your fridge, keep secret. So Rosalind Hansen grew up next door to the guy who Swami Rama spent the summers with in Minnesota. And she would look through the bushes like, what the fuck are those 2 old farts doing? They'd be rubbing all over their bodies. They had a little tent where they'd hang an enema bag and do probably like at least like a liter or so. And then urine evaporates so that you have to mix the bottles a bit, you know, so that you're just not storing a ton of bottles, so that you have, you know, your aged collection. And so Rosalind Hansen's been doing urine therapy since she was 8 years old, and she kept it a secret from her husband for like, till the boys were like 8 and 10 and 12. Yeah, so like, it's not hard to keep it a secret if that's your style. And if your people can't handle it and they're worth hanging on to, it's okay. It's tough. It's a tough one. It's a little harder than like, drink some celery juice with me, honey.
It's fighting you're an alcoholic.
Oh, it totally is. Oh no, it totally is. That's why if you read, like this cartoon is part of a book that I haven't published yet, but there's a lot of pictures in Primal Habits and in Untitled. I made a whole cartoon book that's not released yet that is basically like starts off with Parvati and Shiva and the Dhamma Tantra, which is where Shivambu is mentioned in scripture. And then it goes to the like underground pee drinkers club. This is all the cartoon book, right? And there's this like whole fucking underground pee drinkers club, and they're doing their own thing, and then they go up the ladder and they're not telling anybody. And that's why Parvati asked Shiva in the Dhamma Tantra, dude, what's your secret? And he's like, I'm not telling you.
So would you just drink like
And then he tells her, and she's like, no fucking way, dude. Like, this is the Dhamma Tantra. And then he's like, okay, here's how it's done. And he goes through, like, and if you add Gaduchi, and if you add Shilajit, and if you become immortal. So it's the nitrogen cycle regenerator. Yeah, old school language is how he explains it. Yeah, sorry.
Could you just drink like a lot of water so when you pee it's water
Yeah,
so it's less?
or coconut water. You can put whatever in that you want to have the taste come out. Pretty cool, huh? Not very technical. So there's a very basic principle in Ayurvedic medicine with disease, and that's like increases like and opposites reduce each other. So if you want your pee to taste more like coconut water, you would drink more. If you wanted your pee to taste like ass, you would eat ass. Eat ass. It sounds so bad. That would actually help. So that's not even true. So okay. No, you would eat all the stuff, all the chemicals. You know, like the chemical stuff doesn't. Yeah. But don't be all judgy on yourself either. You know, you're doing the best you can. It's tough out here. I mean, even with the running water and the roof overhead and all the things, right? It's a little chaotic. There's a lot that's competing for your attention and your focus, and that disrupts your ability to see purpose and commune. And we're at an all-time, like this, it's never been like this. Never been like this. It's getting weirder. It's gonna get weirder. It's really gonna get weirder, and no one out there has your best interest besides you. You know, maybe some like weirdo freaks like me. And a lot of us here who are like, no, we get it. We all got each other's back. Commune. So you gotta give yourself a break and don't expect your pee to be perfect, okay? Like don't be all judgy on your pee. And you're like, oh my god, look at the fungus in here. What am I growing? Right? It'll just get better, and it just purifies it. I said when I was writing Primal Habits, and I contradict myself all the time. But I think it is the number one primal. I think it is the fastest. I think it is the number one medicine for right now. And then where those of you who read Witches might know that, like, that's where I got in on Inflamed when we got close to publishing, and then I had cancer, and then I was like, fuck, I really got to deal with this. And I have Lynch syndrome, which is just like a fancy way of saying I'm more likelihood of getting a certain type of genetic cancer. I got tripped up by exposure to COVID vaccine, started bleeding, tried to do a lot of things, wasn't able to stop the bleeding, bled out, took me to the, I'm kind of stubborn, took me to the emergency room where they cut out, and I didn't know I had cancer at the time, they cut out a big tumor after they pumped me full of blood, which wasn't the way I would necessarily do it. And then after that, I went a little deeper into microbiome, and I went a little deeper into fecal transplant for deep genetic microbiome disruption. And that's really where the modern science is too, is they're just looking at like very fancy ways of putting bacterial and viral cocktails together and targeting into tissue. So they're again taking the part instead of the whole. And if I can wrap this up with a bow, then that's really what non-duality is, right? Where we're looking at the whole, and the whole of you is the ecosystem. If you only had like one medicine besides urine, it would be cow dung or soil that has the most microbiome diet, the fiber, polyphenols, the enzymes. You'd fast for long enough to reproduce stem cells. If you got smart, you'd catch your urine then so that you had it 9 months from now and you're like, fuck, I need some medicine. What did Buddha say? And that's really about it. I think the rest is, it's definitely in the book, but that's really the main part of it. So who you are is not one, you are the whole. You don't go spend time in nature, you are nature in nature. Yeah. And the more we realign our psyche and do all the daily things like you guys are doing here, like what you're doing here, you're making yourself feel amazing, you're learning so fast, you know exactly what you need to do for you. Whatever tiny piece of this lands is the right piece, and that's it. Like let the rest go, it'll come back. Because the more you pick up one piece, the next one will come right in. All right, and those of you who wonder what we do, I had yogahealer.com for 20 years, and then my club went PRIMAL, which was a pain in the ass. And I had to basically say that what we're doing is before yoga, and that's why we became Club Thrive Global. We're a club, we're an annual membership. We do primal habits, and we do strategic life design. Tomorrow morning, I believe I'm talking a little bit more about like whatever you're trying to align your life to, and what are some of the thinking tools and structures that align focus to purpose. So we do all that in Club Thrive. And then I have Wellness Pro Academy, where we teach the club model to other wellness pros, because we know that you are a unique snowflake and that your genius is awesome and your community needs you. So we figure out who your community is and your genius in the business model, and we train you up to do it. And then Club Heroes for like the badasses in Club Thrive who already nailed that, and it's mostly people who are trying to make a bigger difference and really putting themselves into a mastermind group to take their life up on level. That's it. Yeah.
Will you say a little more about forgiveness? Because I had this epiphany when you asked the question about autoimmune. You said something about like isolation, depression.
Yeah.
My mom was diagnosed with RA when I was 12. But more recently, like seeing the connection in her resentments and her not, leaving the house, which came first, chicken or the egg, all that kind of stuff. But as you were talking, I was
let's pause on what came first, the chicken or leg. So in Ayurveda medicine, they say imbalance moves from cellular growth. Right, so things will show up more in the emotional body, things will show up more in the intuitive body, things will show up more in the disconnect from the whole or the bliss body before they physically manifest. So yeah. All right, you guys. I think there's books on the table if anyone wants. I'm around all weekend. If anyone's serious about any of the clubs, you can just talk to me after. We're doing 15-minute like primal or career or wellness consultations. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.